Hero MotoCorp is the hero of the Indian two-wheeler industry. It is the largest brand in the country. But when it comes to scooters, it's not a hero. In fact, far from it. For the past 2 decades, it has been trying very hard to make an impact in the scooter segment, where its arch rival Honda is the scooter king with the Activa. Having said that, Hero hasn't put in the towel yet. It has launched a new sporty 125cc scooter, the Xoom 125R. Now, this scooter competes against the TVS Ntorq 125, Suzuki Avenis and the Yamaha Ray ZR. So, is the Xoom 125R up to the challenge? Let's find out. So, let's start this video with styling, because that is one of the key highlights of the new Xoom 125R. The scooter does complete justice to the sporty styling tag, because the whole panels are very sharp and the styling is very modern. Starting with the face of the scooter, you get the split LED headlight with a main LED projector light. The LED DRLs is also very nice. It makes the scooter look very unique. The front apron is also very raked, so it has that sporty stance. And even the LED indicators are placed on the handlebar. Now, moving forward, you get this nice silver panels on the scooter, which give the Xoom 125 a nice contrast, especially in this bright yellow shade. Moving forward to the rear, the same sharp and sporty styling continues. You get split LED tail lights, you get a LED indicator. It looks very sharp and sporty from the rear. Even the exhaust muffler is nice and chunky, goes well with the overall styling of the scooter. So if you want a scooter which grabs a lot of attention, the Xoom 125R is right up your alley. The Hero 125cc scooter gets a new switchgear design, which does look different, and the quality also feels solid. However, I don't like the turn indicators, and a conventional unit would have been better. The same issue is with the LCD instrument cluster. The screen size is small and it doesn't come in the rider's field of vision. It does display a lot of information, but the layout of the console is basic and it does stick out on an otherwise modern scooter. Maybe Hero could have opted for a TFT screen to make it more premium. Overall fit and finish is also up to the mark, as none of the panels rattled or squeaked during our road test. Hero claims that the Xoom 125R is the quickest accelerating scooter in its segment. Now, that's a tall claim, and honestly, it doesn't feel that. I'm not saying that this scooter is slow, but the acceleration doesn't have that punch and zing that you expect from a sporty 125cc scooter. There are two aspects that I really like of this engine, and that is the mid-range and the top-end performance. Talking about mid-range, above 30 kilometers per hour, the Xoom 125R accelerates very strongly. So if you're in city traffic and you want to overtake, there is no calculation required. Just open the throttle and the scooter just shoots off. The second aspect is the high-speed run. It can do speeds above 80 kilometers per hour effortlessly. I was able to do a speedo indicated 100 kph, and at those speeds there were hardly any vibrations from the engine, and in terms of refinement, this Hero is right up there. The other aspect is the stability of the scooter. At those high speeds, the Xoom 125R felt rock solid, and the key for the stability are the 14-inch alloy wheels, which make the scooter very stable at high speeds. So if in your commute you have long highway roads and want to carry high speed runs, the Xoom 125R is a good option. And talking about frugality, it also gets a start-stop system, which works very well and should improve the fuel efficiency in city traffic. Now, talking about fuel efficiency, the Xoom 125R returned us between 40 to 45 kmpl in our road test run, which honestly is very impressive given the performance of the scooter. So let's check out the ergonomics of the new Xoom 125R. First up, the seat height. The seat height of the scooter is 777 millimeter, which is slightly taller than other scooters in this segment. And when you sit on it, for me, it's not a problem. I am 5'10" tall, weigh around 100 kg, so I can easily flat foot. Maybe for shorter riders, this might be of an issue, but we are not too sure. And talking about the footboard space, there is a lot of space for me to move around. I have a size 11 shoe, so even with my big shoe, there is enough space. And the riding posture is that of a typical scooter, very upright. But one thing is that the console of the scooter is very close to the rider when you're sitting on the scooter. So it doesn't come in your field of vision. You have to bend a bit to see the console. The other problem issue for me is the handlebar position. It could have been slightly taller because when I'm taking a U-turn, it is brushing against my knee, and that is something that for taller riders, this might be of an issue. So for big build riders like me, the Xoom 125R can feel a bit cramped, but for most of the people, this should be fine. And one more aspect that I would like to highlight is that the Xoom 125R is the heaviest 125cc scooter in its segment. This scooter tips the scale at 121 kg, making it the heaviest scooter. So maybe when you want to push the scooter around parking, yeah, it might take a bit of effort, but it doesn't feel that heavy. So talking about convenience of the Xoom 125R, you can open both the seat and the external fuel filler cap through the keyhole, and it comes open, so very convenient on that end. But the fuel tank capacity is on the lower end at just 5 liters. And talking about the underseat storage, the underseat storage is decent by a scooter of this category. One good thing is that you get a light inside, so even in the night you can easily open the seat, see for your stuff inside. And about positioning a helmet inside the seat, this is an international spec helmet. As you can see, it doesn't fit, but maybe a made in India local ISI rated helmet would fit easily. So in terms of convenience, there's also 2 cubby holes at the front for storing your knickknacks. So that is also very useful if you want to keep a cloth or if you want to keep something over there. But don't keep your mobile over there because over a pothole it might come out. At the front you also get this dangling USB charger, which honestly looks like an afterthought, but you know what, something is always better than nothing. So yeah, so in terms of convenience, the Xoom 125R does a good job. Well, I mentioned earlier that it is the heaviest scooter in its segment, but when it comes to cornering, you don't feel its weight, and the weight distribution of the scooter is very good. You can actually corner fast on this scooter, it steers very well, and in fact it gives the rider a lot of confidence. The cornering is down to the fat rubber and the 14-inch alloy wheels, which gives the scooter a lot of stability. And in terms of agility also, this scooter scores very highly because it's very easy to steer. You can cut through the tight gaps very easily in city traffic. So overall, the Xoom 125R is very sorted when it comes to dynamics. But when it comes to braking, that's not the case. You have to go very hard on the front lever, and even the bite from the disc brake is weak, and Hero needs to really improve that on the Xoom 125R. And now coming to ride quality, it isn't the most comfortable scooter out there. Okay, it is not as bad as the Aprilia SR 160, but there are other 125cc scooters which offer a more comfortable ride. But given the sporty handling dynamics of the Xoom 125R, the ride quality isn't that bad. So let's get into the verdict and first take pricing out of the way. The Xoom 125R is available in 2 variants. The base is for 87,000, the top end variant is for 93,000. Our pick is to go for the top end variant because you get disc brake and some extra features, and given the performance of the scooter, you better have the disc brake. Now in terms of pricing, the pricing of the Xoom 125R is very competitive compared to its rivals because it also gets 14-inch alloy wheels, which they miss out on. So in terms of pricing, Hero has done a great job. Now, who are the target audience for this scooter? If you want something sporty, something that looks smashing and is fun to ride, the Xoom 125R makes good sense. It gets you the visual appeal, it is fun to ride, and it is a Hero, so maintenance will also be on the lower end. And how does it compare to the TVS Ntorq 125, which is the scooter king of the segment? Well, in terms of performance and dynamics, it is giving the TVS a run for its money because of the 14-inch alloy wheels. It feels more engaging to ride. The top end performance is clearly better than the TVS Ntorq. So Hero has got a great package on their hands. And if you want a sporty 125cc scooter, the Xoom 125R should definitely be on your radar.